Yeah,
And we are
we'll
officially
see.
recording video. All right, here we go in three, two, one.
Just drop that ass, bitch. It's open micers in the house. Pop that pussy with that open micers logo in your mouth. Jason with his bald ass head. Jacob looking in bed. It's open micers, bitch. Heard what I said. Drop that ass. Open micers in the house. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open micers in the house. Open micers in the house. Open micers is a mouse. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open micers in the house. The mic is now open.
That's right. The mic is now open. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jacob Craig. I wish I was in some bread right now. I'm fucking starving. But we have a podcast to do before I
Yeah.
stuff my fat fucking face. We have a very special guest today. I'm very excited to talk to this guy. You know him as the host of the main Entree podcast, and you may recognize him from his various bucket pulls on the program Kill Tony, from which he absolutely killed it and has been lovingly dubbed the gay William Montgomery, even though he's not gay. It
No,
is the one and only Trey Campbell. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Overall, I'm kind of, I don't know what I'm more offended by, the fact that they think I'm gay or that I'm exactly like William Montgomery, because I'm trying to like make my own path. But
Yeah, just from afar, you guys don't seem like you could be any different.
that's true. I think that that's the biggest thing I've worried about is that people are gonna confuse me for William Montgomery. But I guess I get it. He is my favorite comic, so. But yeah, no, that's one thing that I've always liked the comparison, but I worry a little bit that they're gonna think I'm too similar sometimes. But I'm glad it went well. I'm glad that they think that if they like William Montgomery, they'll like me, I guess.
Yeah,
Right.
and
And
I
and you look similar enough too. Has anyone like mistaken you for William Montgomery yet?
Once I think there were some drunk people at an open mic. They were like, "Are you William Montgomery?" And I was like, "Yes." And I started talking like him. And but I don't know. I my hair is a little bit longer, and I have a little bit younger of a face. But yeah, I could see why people would make the comparisons. We're both autistic redheads, so
There's only so many.
yeah,
and I like
only so many redheads.
how Tony Hinchcliffe made fun of the way you talk, but you guys sound exactly the same to my ears.
Yeah, that's one thing I kind of expected. If I ever got on, I knew Tony was gonna go right for my voice. I mean, after my appearance, which is obviously pretty unique, I figured at some point he was gonna go after my voice, but I've heard so much about my voice for my whole life, so it didn't really phase me. But I knew that he was gonna, make fun of how I talked, which was fine, but it was funny.
So I
Right.
was noticing, I thought it was kind of funny. I looked up your Instagram, and your Instagram is Juggalo Trey 23. So and it says you're a recovering Juggalo. So please tell me, are you really a recovering Juggalo, or are you a closet Juggalo at this point?
I still got a lot of respect for juggalos. For a while, at first glance, I thought it was really stupid. I thought they were just a bunch of like white trash hoodlums that lived on the wrong side of the tracks. But then I started to like talk to them, and they were actually really cool. They were really like nice and stuff. So back in the day, like I hated their music, but my cousin Austin, who was a hardcore like Fago drinking, card carrying, or hatchet carrying member of the Juggalos, I guess. He took all these ICP CDs and ripped them onto my Xbox. And I would listen to ICP and I kind of got into it for a minute, but I never went I never went into the whole lifestyle of being a juggalo. But that username actually comes from a nickname I got at my first job. This dude named AJ Hoffman called me Juggalo Trey because I reminded him of a juggalo, so I just kind of kept it that, and it just kind of stuck around the city. So I can't really get rid of it now.
What about you, Jacob? Did you ever go through a juggalo phase?
No, I'm only 24, so I was lucky to be in a generation where I don't think there's very many juggalos.
Yeah, you
We
had to
kind of
be
missed
there.
us.
Yeah, you had to be there. Early 2000s to mid 2000s, it was like everywhere, and into the early part of the 2010s, there were a lot of carryovers, I guess. But you'll find one. I mean, they're not hard to find. You smell a really horrible
Yeah,
scent.
they're easy to spot in public.
Yeah, it's there. Then you'll find them, but they're good people overall. They just want to drink their Fago and listen to ICP, but overall, I don't know how long I could hang out with a juggalo before I got annoyed.
Right. Which one did a set on Kill Tony the other night? Was it Violent J that did a set?
Yeah, Violent J did a set, and they were like, "All right." They wanted him to do a minute, I guess, and he went up and he did like 3 minutes. And Red Band pressed the button he pressed the button to stop, like, for the cat sound, and Violent J kept going. So I guess he just, but it was his first time. He did fine, I would imagine, for your first time, but
Yeah, but
he
also
did
too, you're
run
not
the
going to
light.
tell Violent J to get off the stage. I mean, you're just
No,
not going
his
to
name
do
is
it.
Violent J, obviously. You wanna but no, it was good, I guess. A lot of people didn't like it, but I don't think they really understood that it was his first time and that he isn't a comic.
Yeah, I thought it was actually pretty good for, a famous musician who's just kind of trying it.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of the times when it comes to like ICP's music, I don't really think that I think it you would a lot of people would listen to like some of their songs and think they're like a joke, and you would think it would carry over into comedy, but it's a whole different ball game when you're
Yeah.
making joke songs as opposed to doing comedy. It's very two different. It's apples to oranges, I'd
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Violent J was funnier than T.I.
I don't
Like
remember Ti doing a set.
not on Kill Tony, but
Oh,
like T.I.'s been like hard like headlining comedy clubs and shit for a
yeah.
while now.
Yeah, we have a rapper in Houston named ESG that's been trying to get into mics, and I respect it that what he's doing, because he goes to like open mics and he's trying to like get better at it. Like, he's going through the process, but some people are famous before and kind of live off their name and try and do comedy and it fails miserably, and but what can you say? If you have the name recognition, people are gonna come see you regardless. So I guess I get
Right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they think it's a quick buck because I mean, it looks so easy when you're doing it on the highest level. Like I'm sure ESG could watch an episode of Kill Tony and be like, yeah, no, that's easier than rapping. I'll just go do that for some money.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, like I respect a lot of people who go through the process first, go do comedy in front of like three people, and and respect the process before you go on Kill Tony, because if you go up there for your first time and you don't have anything prepared, you're gonna look horrible, and they're gonna crush you, and you're gonna want to never do it again.
But
Yeah.
you've had a bucket pull what, like 3 or 4 times now?
Yeah, that was my third time. And it's ironic that I said that because going up in 2022 was my first time ever doing comedy. So, but I had some stuff prepared, and I I'd been around a lot of comics before, but like, it's after that, I don't know, it's going up on Kill Tony is huge, and it brings you to a big audience, but I try to like when I look at Kill Tony, I try to look at that as like a bonus. And I want to keep like going and doing mics and
Yeah.
you know, building a name, I guess, separate from that sometimes.
Yeah, but it helps to have that that
100%.
recognition, though. I would guess, or at
Yeah.
least I would believe it would be.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'll use it if I ever went back up and it went well enough and they offered me like a an opening spot to do like 10 at the top. If they were like, "Hey, you want to come on tour and do 10 minutes every night?" I would do it 100% immediately. I think everybody would, but like, I don't know. It at the end of the day, just doing comedy and building my own like act is, I guess, because I see a lot of people go to Austin and they haven't been doing. They were gonna start in Austin, which I guess is fine, but a lot of people use Kill Tony as like that's where I'm gonna get my start, and they
Yeah.
think, oh, it's like a silver bullet that will propel you into comedy stardom if you do well, but
Yeah,
it's
but if
not
you
like
don't
that
have
at
that
all.
foundation, it's gonna come down pretty quick.
Yeah, I remember one time after Kill Tony, I went to the Sunset open mic, the Sunset Strip open mic, and they were doing a list, and you got like 4 minutes. And so one of the comics, I guess if you want to call him that, came up to me and he's like, "How long are they going?" I was like, 4 minutes. And he's like, "Ooh, I don't have 4 minutes yet." I was like, "Okay, well, good luck, buddy." So
Jesus, not that hard to come up with 4 minutes. I mean, come
yeah,
on,
that's
man.
yeah, like 4 minutes is like I'm relieved when they say it's like 4 minutes or 3 minutes that I'm doing because that's less time that I gotta stammer and trip over my words.
Yeah.
But what is the for people that are wanting to go out and try to get on Kill Tony and stuff? What is that process like when you do the when you put your name in the bucket? Like, how many people are backstage? Like, what is it like back there?
So really and truly, when you go up, you go to this bar called Poor Choices. It used to be Shakespeare, but I think that David Lucas is doing something where he bought a bar and he's trying to like build that up, which is I guess good because it'll give people more mic time. But you go over there and there's this line that goes around the corner. It's a long line, about 200 people show up, and you sign up. Everybody gets to sign up, and they put your name in the bucket, and you kind of wait for a minute, and then Christy and all these people walk out with the bucket, and it's kind of like they're about to go select who the Pope's gonna be. They all walk in a line to the mothership, and then after that, they'll pick a name out of the bucket. Sometimes people no show, and if you no show, you get shadow banned, I think.
Oh,
But
really?
sometimes people no show, and when they pick your name out of a bucket, they have this guy run across the street. I'm surprised he hasn't been hit by a car. I'm really worried that he's going to get hit by a car at some point because he has to run across the street, and it's a Monday, and they haven't shut down Sixth Street, and he goes into Poor Choices and he says the name, and then they take you and you go backstage and there's a comic already up before you. So you stand backstage and they take your phone, they wand you and everything. Because at any Joe Rogan show, they're staunchly against people having their phones in their theater. They'll like lock them up, which I guess is makes sense. A lot of comics do that. But you're backstage for a good, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes and you're waiting. And I'll usually talk to like the people. The two times I've been on at the mothership, I'll talk to the people behind the curtain, and they're always really friendly. And then maybe you'll see like one of the regulars. Like I saw Martin Phillips and Cam. I saw them both back there, and then they'll bring you up into the curtain, and you do your minute, and then after that you kind of walk out and they give you like this big gel blaster and they unlock your phone for you and they give you everything, and I guess you kind of walk back out into society, and it's really cool when you walk out and you go back to the line of people and they're like woo and they're all cheering and happy you got on. But yeah, it's really cool. it's really a surreal experience when you think about it. When you're on stage, it doesn't feel real, but the process of signing up is really, it's a show within a show. It's really interesting.
It's got to be pretty nerve wracking though when you're backstage getting ready to go on, though. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
absolutely. The first time I got on at the mothership, you know, I had been drinking heavily before I got up. My friend Isaac drove me, and I was with my friends, and I was with a bunch of other comics from like Florida, and I was drinking a lot of vodka Red Bulls because I knew I didn't have to drive home, and I didn't expect to get on. And they were like, "You need to slow down. They're gonna call you." And then, like, not a minute after they said that, the dude said my name, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm kind of drunk right now." So then I don't know. I just kind of like put it out of my mind, and I said, "Okay, if I can just do the minute I prepared, everything will be fine." And regardless of what happens, it's not the end of the world. But I was really drunk, and I felt a lot looser, so the first time at the mothership was great. Like that was my probably one of the best sets I've ever done. But the second time I didn't drink at all. So I went up sober. So I was way more nervous the second time than I was the first time.
Yeah.
And does that kind of mess with the interview portion of that as well? Because, you have Tony asking you all kind of questions. He's trying to roast you. You're trying to roast him back a little bit. And then, like, you're also just completely drunk out of your mind.
Yeah, the yeah, when I was drunk, I mean I had a really weird laugh. I started laughing all like that's not how I laugh, but I was laughing all weirdly and stuff, but I really liked it. I liked hearing him go through the roasts. The roasts are funny. A lot of people don't like getting roasted, but when it's Tony Hinchcliffe, one of the best roasters in the world, it's kind of a badge of honor. And but overall, the interview portion was not that bad. I was just I don't know. I just kind of felt nervous about the set more than anything, is that I was gonna trip over my words because I didn't want the set to go bad. Because overall, while the interview is important and like that's where they get a lot of stuff out of you, if you go up and you kill, then you've already won, you know? If you go up and you do well and you get laughs, then you've already kind of won. But if you go and if you I guess if you have a bad interview, it's it's not good. But I felt like if I just go up and do the set like I usually do, it would be fine and then everything would fall into place. And it did. But I don't know. It wasn't the I guess being drunk didn't really I don't guess it affected me too much.
Right. Yeah, and I can imagine. I mean, you can speak to this because the first time you've ever done comedy was on Kill Tony, but you know, uh, I'm kind of intrigued why so many people do their first time on Kill Tony and then keep coming back and keep doing it more. Because if I got just completely eviscerated and the shit roasted out of me the very first time I'd done stand up, I would probably never do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I feel like a lot of people think that, oh, I'll get it. I'll do better next time. And maybe they do, but sometimes like there are people that just aren't cut out to do it and they just can't take the hint. And that's the worst because I'm sure with y'all being comics, y'all know a lot of people that might not be the best at it. And y'all are all like, oh, I want to tell him, but I can't. He's too nice of a guy. And
Yeah, I've
so
been
you just
trying to tell Jason for years.
that's funny.
Oh, I already know I'm terrible. You don't have to tell me anything I don't know.
I don't think anybody's as bad as they think they are, but there's some people that are just completely lost and like they
Yeah.
don't and you see a lot of that on Kill Tony. And for me personally, when I see a lot of those comics that don't even know how to form a joke, I'm like, man, I kind of hope they go on Kill Tony and Tony tells them what I never got to tell them, and humbles them a
In
little
all
bit.
seriousness, though, like whenever you see somebody, even just like the local open mics or whatever, especially on Kill Tony, when you have people that have, like, how do you not know that you're not funny. Like the,
Yeah.
I mean, we all have bad nights. You know, we have nights
Right.
where we're off, we don't get laughs and things like that. It makes you feel terrible. I would
Yeah.
not do it every single week or night or whatever if I was just never getting laughs and like just I don't know. It's like you have how are people just not self-aware enough to know?
Yeah, that's what you think. I mean, I guess they think that, oh, it's a grind, and if I just get better jokes, then I'll be fine, and I just got to keep writing. But having funny jokes is like a small percentage of what stand up is. I
Hmm.
mean, your presentation matters, your timing and your pacing and your stage presence is everything. And some people have really good jokes, they just don't have any stage presence, and that hurts them. But I think overall, it's just a matter of um, you know, just going out there and doing it. And I don't know. I guess the reason why they do that is because maybe they had one really good night and they just keep chasing that high
Yeah.
and they think they'll get it again. But
Oh my God, I think I am that guy.
I
I
mean,
told
it
you.
happens. It happens.
Which I mean, I do have to say too that I think that every comedian does overestimate themselves in a way. Because you talk to any comic in the world and you ask them like, "Hey, how much time do you have?" They're never gonna tell you the amount of time they
Yeah,
actually have. They're gonna probably tell you like double the amount of time that they have. Like I think that we're all just kind of lying to ourselves and about some aspect of our, you know, comedy career.
totally. I've been telling people I've had 20 minutes for the past 6 months because I had one really good set in Lake Jackson where I just talked to the people about fucking wrestling, but I don't know if I have 20 minutes. I mean, there's no way. I know I could do 10 minutes, but I don't know. But 20 minute, that's so true. I mean, a lot of people they'll say, "Oh, how much time you want to do?" And they'll just say the longest amount of time. And I think that's not a good idea, but YOLO, I guess.
Yeah, but the thing is 20 minutes doesn't sound like a lot until you're
It's so
on
much.
stage and you
Yeah.
don't have 20 minutes worth of shit.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh my God, what is happening?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like before that, the most done was like 15 minutes in San Antonio, and it went good the second time. The first time it was a disaster because I made a Greg Abbott joke and these three Republican ladies like left.
Mm.
But I think before, what really hurt him was like there was these two women and this man, and I was like, "Are you guys in a throuple?" Because that worked well for me one time. So anytime I saw like three people walk in, I would just always ask them if they were in a throuple. But I think that pissed them off enough where they thought that because that was like a mom and like her sister and her son, and I think that really pissed him off. But it was funny nonetheless. But
is
that
it is that the worst moment you've had on stage, or what is the
no,
worst moment you've had?
the worst moment I had on stage was same place, Lake Jackson. There's this bar called Growers Poorhouse, and I went up there thinking I was on the show. He said, "Hey, I'll give you a guest spot on the show," and I was like, "All right, cool. That's fine." So I got there, and he's like, "Hey, you want to sign up for the open mic?" I was like, "What?" I thought I was on the show, but okay, whatever. I'll sign up. So then my friend Ruben loses his phone, and I'm trying to help him find his phone, and I'm like, "Ruben, I can't keep helping you find this phone. I'm trying to like go up." So I go up and Ruben's still looking for his phone. So like the first like 3 minutes is just me trying to like tell everybody to call my friend Ruben's phone to help him find the phone. And people are like calling the phone. And I was like, all right, shit, I don't have any other material. So I just started making fun of this girl's forehead for like 5 minutes and it was horrible. And I was like, all right, I gotta get out of here. We gotta go, Ruben. You better find your fucking phone or I'm leaving. So luckily we found the phone, but that was maybe the worst night I think I've ever in comedy that I've ever done. I had a pretty bad set at sunset. I mean, the comics were laughing last Wednesday, but there were these four people that came in, and I made one of my Kanye West 9/11 jokes,
Oh, good
and
lord.
they didn't give me any response. And I was like, "What am I doing? Comedy to the Tunnels to Towers Foundation? Like, what the hell?" But it was I don't know. But that's what open mics are for, to do bad, I guess. But that was the worst. Was that night in Lake Jackson? That was the worst night I've ever had.
Yeah, you have to be a special type of comic to have Kanye West 9/11 jokes.
Yeah, yeah, and luckily for me, like it's done well. The joke has done pretty good. I get a lot of groans, but there's a lot of laughs with the groans. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And some of the material I do is kind of dark, but I'm trying to like write for every genre of comedy, you know. That's what I want to do is like I want to do every genre of comedy as best as I can. So,
Well,
but
Right.
what would you consider your favorite? Like, what's your favorite type of comedy?
I really like making jokes that very self-deprecating. I really like comics that are self-deprecating, and I like to tell stories about my life, and but overall, I'm always kind of making myself the punchline. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, don't punch down or don't punch up or don't punch down or whatever," and I'm like, I don't punch down, I punch myself. So, but I don't know. I don't like to. I like comedy that's mean sometimes, but I like it when the people that are like getting getting the roasting or getting the brunt of the abuse seem like they deserve it. So I always like to see when people on Kill Tony go up and just get destroyed. They knew what they signed up for, and it's always kind of fun to see them just get wrecked.
Yeah, I always like to see people get roasted either when it's done out of love or when somebody is just a complete asshole and just needs to
Yeah,
be taken down a few pegs.
yeah. I see. The thing is with roasting, like I I can do it a little bit, but like most of the times, if I'm just roasting people I'm friends with, they'll roast me and I'll just kind of laugh at it and I won't really hit back. Because if I get to where I'm roasting somebody and it's someone I don't like most of the time and I really want to be bad, like I really want to hurt their feelings when I'm doing it. But overall, that's one I gotta learn how to do more than anything is roasting. And if I can learn how to do that, I think I'd do good.
Yeah, I think people use that as the most common form of crowd work anymore, or at least I've seen that on the road. And I'm kind of like, you know, when you're bombing and you need to resort to crowd work, I don't know if roasting is the best second option for you in that
No,
moment. I think people
no.
use it incorrectly a lot.
Yeah, I think I always try to like my my way of doing crowd work is like I'll do the whole like where are you from, and then I'll just say a bunch of like obscure shit about the city they're from, and they'll be all surprised. They'll be like, "Who'd you do that?" And I'll just like surprise them with the obscure shit I know about their city. Um, and that'll be one way I try to get them on my side. But I don't know. I only do crowd work a little bit. Maybe I should do it more.
So, how do you know so many obscure facts about people's cities?
I don't know. I'm always going on like Reddit and looking at like the city's Reddit, and I'll kind of just I'll read a lot of Wikipedia articles about cities and
That
stuff.
seems to me to be like maybe an autism thing.
That's
Yep,
an
that's
autistic
exactly what it
superpower.
is. Yep. This one time this dude said he was from Pittsburgh and I just started talking about the Steelers and I came up with a joke about Ben Roethlisberger and I was like, "Oh yeah, that Ben Roethlisberger, he used to be he's a rapist." And then I was like, he really entered that woman's Three Rivers Stadium and they were all surprised that I knew about Three Rivers Stadium, but I was like, I thought everybody knew about. It's a popular stadium. The Steelers won like many Super Bowls and they played there for years, but they're all surprised. So I guess I'm kind of, you know, surprised at what people are surprised by that I know because I feel like, but it is very much autism.
Yeah.
It is that is number that is
See,
the
if you start doing the road, you can milk like 20 to 30 minutes out of just
Yeah.
riffing off of where you are in the world.
that's what I'm hoping to do. If I ever go on the road, I hope to that's what I want to do more than anything is just fucking talk shit about people's cities and but just like riff with the people. That's what I love doing more than anything. It's riffing. Like going to open mics and stuff is just kind of about for me. The performance is a big part of it, and it's why I'm there. But like just hanging out with a bunch of comics and like riffing is really fun.
Yeah. See, I want to test your superpower right now. I don't know, how many small cities you know about, or if you would know any cities close to us at all. But do you know any strange facts about Biloxi, Mississippi?
Yeah, that's where the Silver Slipper is, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard many things about the Silver Slipper. I heard there's a lot of prostitutes that hang out at the Silver Slipper.
Oh, I
I
thought the
went to
Silver Slipper
Biloxi.
was in Bay St. Louis, though, I think.
Yeah, there's
It's right on the line. It's like on the Gulfport Biloxi line.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I remember going to Biloxi or going through Biloxi back in I go through it all the time to go to Florida, but me and my dad and his girlfriend went there and I remember seeing like a bunch of billboards of about the BP oil spill. That was
Hmm.
pretty
Yeah.
bad. I remember the BP oil spill. But I know it's a gambling. A lot of people go there to gamble, if I'm not mistaken. That's where the band Three Doors Down is from.
Oh,
I
Jason
don't
knows
yeah.
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
Jason was in
I've
a
got it.
band that opened for Three Doors Down on the road.
really. I
Yeah.
heard they were white trash, like really trashy
No
people.
comment.
Yeah, it's in the streets with all of them.
Yeah. But no, yeah, Mississippi is great. I've driven through it so many times and I stopped there. I don't remember what hotel I stayed at in Biloxi, or it was either Biloxi or Gulfport, but there was like a beach and I was looking for like the oil when I was a kid to see where the oil was in the water. I was like, I kept I was when we were going over the bridges over the water, I would be like, if I light a match and throw it into the river, am I gonna set the ocean on fire and stupid shit like that?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
oil spill is pretty much why we can't go in the water and not get
Yeah,
flesh-eating bacteria now. So that's thanks, BP.
yeah, BP, big problem. They always had those shirts that said BP, big problem on them, and it was like an oil spill. I remember that. But no, it's no, I've never really stopped there, but I've gone through it a million times because I've gone to Pensacola a lot for the races. But yeah, no, Gulfport, Biloxi, what else is there? There's Meridian, I think, is around there. I had a
Yeah, a little further away.
yeah, I knew that I don't remember where the I was on this site called My Yearbook when I was young, so I always would talk to this woman from Mississippi. Um and I always wanted to go visit her, but I never got around to it mainly because I was like 14 and I had no way of getting to Mississippi. But yeah, that's what I remember the most about that area is the woman this African American woman I liked that I met on my yearbook that lived there and the BP oil spill.
So I want to give you something for, if you're ever performing in Biloxi or the next time you come through here to add to your, repertoire to tell to
Right.
someone that will make them instantly know that you know about Mississippi. Just tell them one call, that's all.
Really?
One
Is that
call,
like
that's all.
is that like a jingle on
It's Morris Bart's slogan. Morris Bart is an injury attorney who is the
right.
biggest celebrity in Mississippi.
That's cool. That's funny.
Oh, I think Alexander Shannara is giving him a run for his money now, dude.
Morris
He's
Bart's still daddy. Morris Bart is daddy. I've met Morris Bart. He's a great guy. He's really
did,
cool.
did you get in a car accident and needed an injury lawyer?
My mom did, and she made one call. That's all. And Morris Bart got her a settlement.
Yeah,
wow.
he answered the phone himself. We have an injury lawyer in Houston. I'm not in Houston currently. I live in Austin now, but I'm from Houston. So our injury lawyer's name was Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer. And he would be all like, "I'm the Texas Hammer. I'll fight for you." And there'll be like commercials of him on television like throwing a hammer on like an 18 wheeler. It was great. And he had a son. Now his son's kind of doing it. He's like, "I'm Bill Adler, the Texas Hammer." And I was like, "They're both the Texas Hammer? Who's really the fucking Texas Hammer here?" But
The Texas Hammer and the Texas Croquet Mallet.
yeah, it should yeah, why can't it be the Texas Mallet and until he becomes the Hammer? But nah, yeah, those injury lawyers are great. They have they're everywhere.
You know what's
Now it's Morgan
weird?
and Morgan.
Those
What?
the Alexander Shannara billboards. He's got a bunch of them that are upside down. And when I first started seeing them, I was like, do they know they put the billboards upside down? I mean, they were just completely upside down. Then I found out it's because when you're in a car wreck and you're upside down in your car, you can read the billboard.
It's
Oh my
actually
god!
brilliant.
Like
What
that's
are what
fucked
are the
up.
odds of that paying off though?
I'd like to think that if I don't become if I'm like a comic, if it doesn't work out for comedy, that I can just like become an injury lawyer and just figure out how to be an injury lawyer and just make cool billboards.
No, what you need to do is be a billboard maker. That would be the job for to be a billboard designer for the injury lawyers.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to do that. I mean, it would be it would be like I would have so many ideas. I would like okay, I take it back. I don't have a lot of ideas right now, but I could come up with some if I thought about it hard enough.
Because
Like,
think about it. I'm sure the guy that was like, that told Alexander Shannara to be like, hey, what we should do? We should take the billboards and put them upside down. You know why? Because that's the only reason I know who this fucker is because I kept seeing those goddamn upside down billboards. And now I remember his damn name, Alexander Shannara. Like, how would I remember that otherwise? So that
yeah,
guy
yeah.
deserves a bonus, whoever came up with that idea.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Like we have a billboard of this guy who's like a lawyer with like dreadlocks and he's like, "I'm the lawyer who rocks." And he has like dreadlocks and he's like, "I'm not like a real lawyer. I have dreadlocks." It's really funny.
Do your local lawyers do they ever have like Super Bowl commercials?
Yeah, some of them do. I know Jim Adler has had a couple, but all the in Houston, the only company that really puts in big money for Super Bowl commercials is HEB. HEB will really clog all of the time when it comes to like Texas. They'll just take up all the time from all the fucking injury lawyers, and it's great. I mean, HEB is a staple of our community, and they help out during the hurricanes. But I feel like it's kind of unfair to the lawyer with dreadlocks that they're stealing all their Super Bowl time.
He's doing all right for himself. He's getting all the clientele that
That's
rocks.
true. Yeah, yeah. He's some white dude. He's like, "I'm the lawyer who rocks," and he's like a white dude in a suit. He's like wearing a blazer, and he's got dreadlocks. I'm like, I laugh at it every time.
Well, we're running out of time here, Trey. I know we've been chopping it up so much we've barely gotten to any open micer style questions. So I want to ask you, when was the last time you shit your pants?
Never. Not since I was like two. But
Team no shit right here. No
yeah,
shit in your
I'm always
pants.
able to hold it. I don't know why, but I'm never too far from a bathroom, I guess. But
See,
I don't know.
that's my deal. Like, how can you not hold it long enough to
Yeah,
get to the bathroom? Jacob will just stand there and shit his pants.
No,
yeah,
I won't, dude. Look, I've gotten
that's
better.
bad form.
The other day we were in Big Lots and I was just sprinting towards the bathroom to make it. It's just sometimes it's just not an option to hold it. It just
Right.
comes out.
Did you
I
shit your
got really
pants in Big Lots?
No, I made it.
Okay, good.
I
Just
got
fucking
really
barely.
close when I was in high school. I was like on a bus to get to school and I really had to shit. And then I got there and I just barely made it. It was the closest I ever got. I was like, I really feel horrible for anybody that comes in here after this.
Well, I had a
Uh,
But
couple of close calls in high school only because the high school I went to, they wouldn't allow doors on the stalls in the bathroom. So if you
uh,
had to take a shit, you had to take a shit like in front of the world, like with the
yeah,
world
that's
watching you. So every time I had to take a huge dump, I would just like call my grandpa or somebody to come get me and take me home for the day. So there were a couple of
that's
close
funny.
calls, but and that's so
That's like
weird though.
yeah, that's like an invasion of your privacy. I feel like
Exactly.
that's like illegal, but maybe we should call the lawyer with dreadlocks
Yeah.
and see if he can come in and fix that.
Yeah, do
so
you think
the,
maybe I got a case against the
Yeah.
D'Iberville school system that they didn't that I
Yeah.
got traumatized because there were no stall doors so that I
Yeah,
could properly take a shit as a
I think you're
child?
entitled to damages. You have punitive damages that you've suffered that you know,
Cuz I was a
but
bullied kid, like I can only imagine like if my bullies came into the bathroom and saw me taking a dump, it would have been even worse than what it already was.
yeah, that's what happens when you go bald at 15. You get bullied.
yeah.
Case has been bald this entire time. I'm glad we got on this topic, those guys, because something that has been happening to me a lot recently. I've been changing my diet up a lot lately because I've been trying to lose weight. So I've been fasting here and there. And then when you come off of a fast, you get just like
Blue Jays in their
horrible,
road
like
great.
liquid diarrhea for a little bit. Have you guys ever shit your butts?
Shit, what?
Have you ever shit your butt?
Shit your butt? What do you
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know the phrasing. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not familiar with
Well, I'm
that
not
phrase.
speaking a foreign language here, Trey. Have you ever shit your butt?
I don't think. Oh, okay, I know what you mean.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so
yeah,
like when you have a really close call and you think that you just shitted your pants, but it's just like butt crack deep.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I think so.
Oh, and you get that butt grease till you
Yeah,
get to the
it's the
Oh, for
bathroom.
me, it's
worst.
just like a whole poop just encased in my butt crack.
Oh
Oh
no,
man,
dude.
that's horrible.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately, which by the way is how I've managed to avoid shitting my pants is just to shit my butt.
Right. Well, there you go. I guess it's the that's efficient, you know,
Yeah.
efficient.
I'm gonna stop asking questions. Jason, take it away.
So, since this is the Open Micers podcast, one thing we always like to ask the guests is tell us about your very first time doing open mic. What was it like?
Well, aside from Kill Tony, that was an invite, I guess, from Tony himself, which is a story in of itself. But I want to really the first open mic. I don't really count that. The first open mic I ever did, it was like August of 2022, and I don't know, I showed up that night with my friend Ruben, and we
Oh,
kind of
Ruben.
just yeah, good old Ruben
Classic
Medina.
Ruben.
Yeah. I watched him do comedy and I was like, I get maybe I could try this. I have a few jokes written. And I signed up and I signed up number 11. I was like, I want to sign up as late as possible. So I signed up and the host was a man named Clemente. Shout out to Clemente. But it was at the Secret Group in Houston, Texas, and I went up and I had on my I did my material that I had written, and it went really well. People were laughing, and you know, they're like, there was only three people in the crowd, but they were like, I had these black Air Forces on, and because I wanted to look tough. And they asked me about them, and I told them, oh, I only wear these because I want to know how to fight. Look how I want to look like I know how to fight, but I don't know how to fight. And that went well. And I was like, wow, this is going pretty good. And so like I left, and that was to this day, I think that was my favorite set that I've ever done because like I did well enough in front of like three people enough to convince me to do it again, but just waiting to go up was scary at that first time, but after that it just got easier. And the best part was going home and like sitting at home and like staying up all night because it went so well. And I was like, man, this is the coolest feeling ever. I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it again. And then doing it again. And then the second time was not so great. But that first time was fun. Like I joke about it because I think Donnell Rawlings said the first time he did comedy, he got a standing ovation, which I don't believe, by the way. I don't believe that at all. So I was like, oh yeah, the first time I did comedy, I got a standing ovation, mainly because they all stood up and left after. But
That's funny. Isn't that the best part of doing comedy is just staying all night with some gas station cheeseburgers and just writing new jokes?
yeah, 100%. Like, just staying up all night and when a joke comes to you, you never know when it's gonna come to you. But it comes to you and you're like, oh shit, I gotta remember that. And then you don't remember it, so you gotta write it down, and it's like fractured versions of what the joke is, and you're like, I don't know what to
It
it's
sounds
crazy.
very familiar. Like that's my writing process. Like I'm not an everyday writer. I'm more of a when an inspiration hits, like try to get
Yeah.
it all out and then wait, another month for inspiration to hit again.
Yeah, totally. I get how that is, because like if you write every day, I feel like if I write every day, I'm gonna try, it'll get contrived, and I'll keep trying to force things to be funny that doesn't need to be funny. And
Yeah.
like, but David Letterman, I think, said it the best. When he was on the Johnny Carson show, he was all like, I try to find humor in everything. So if there's everything I see, I try to make a joke out of it. And that's kind of the model I've tried to live by. I'll see things and I'll try to like make it funny, I guess.
Well,
Right.
now that you've been doing pretty well, especially with Kill Tony and everything, do you have any plans to start hitting the road anytime soon?
I would love to. I mean, the thing is with comedy, I'm the comedy part I like doing. I've haven't been very good at like messaging people and telling them, but that would be great to hit the road and go to like the coast, like around you guys and people I know. That would be so much fun, even if it was just doing open mics and I got you know, no compensation out of it. It would still be cool to just see what the pulse is of the city.
Yeah.
And I would love to. I would like to go. Anytime I go on vacation, I always see it where I can do comedy. Like I went to Vegas and I was gonna do an open mic at Wise Guys, but I fell asleep, so I didn't get to do it. But yeah, I just love doing comedy so much. Like it's
But yeah, if you want to head this way, there's plenty of places to hit between Austin and Pensacola. There's a huge scene booming in Lafayette right now. J.P. Leonard with Lafayette Comedy. There's stuff going in New Orleans. We have some open mics here on the coast. There's stuff going on in
nice.
Mobile, Pensacola. So there's definitely spots for you to hit and
Yeah,
on the way
for
through.
sure. Yeah, I think I know somebody in Lafayette. I think his name is Archgano. I
Oh,
don't know how to
Yeah,
Tyler.
pronounce
Tyler
his name.
Arsenio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's really cool. I see him and this dude named Chris Carrot, or no, not Josh Jordan, I think is his name. But I see them a lot. They're really cool to hang out with. But yeah, just that would be great. Like I'm gonna hit some of those spots when I get I because like just doing comedy everywhere is like important.
Hell yeah. Well, Jacob, you got anything else for our guest before we start heading out the door?
I just want to ask one question. Trey, what is your goal in comedy right now? Because you've talked about going on tour and everything. Do you want to get hooked up with a headliner that you can feature for? Do you want to, form a fully crafted 30 minutes? What's your biggest goal in comedy right now?
So overall, I guess my comedy goal would be, like you said, that being a feature act and learning how to craft 30 minutes, I think would go hand in hand with being like an opener. But overall, the end goal of comedy for me is when I know I have like an hour that I can do, and I could do like a special, even if it doesn't get picked up, and I can film a special that's like 45 minutes to an hour.
Hmm.
If I could do that just once in my life, that would be what I would want to do. Because I've watched so many comics with like specials. I've watched like a lot of specials like Eddie Murphy and all these Bill Burr and all the greats, and watching Comedy Central as a kid and seeing all those people go up on TV and do like an hour in a theater is my end goal. But after that, if I ever get to where I have one successful special, I can just go work in NASCAR for the rest of my life. Like I could just go cover NASCAR and that would be it. But that's all I want to do is have one really big successful special, and that I think that's what we all want as comics. But
Yeah.
overall, the short term goal is just hitting up as many mics as I can and trying to find like someone that I could feature for, and maybe just going around and doing comedy everywhere. But at the end of the day, the biggest goal is having that successful special. And then after that, I mean, I don't really see, I don't know, maybe acting, but I doubt it. Just having one special would be is all I need.
Yeah, because even if you just put it up yourself on YouTube, I mean, it's out there forever,
Yeah, and if it goes well and people like it, I mean, look at what Ari Shafir did with his special. He made like a lot of money off of it, and Sam Talent put his special up there. I think Brian Holtzman puts his special on there, and I just love watching. I'm getting into watching specials. Like that's what I want to do is craft like my own hour that I could talk about myself and give like a good dichotomy of my life to the people. And then I guess after that, they'll know me.
hmm
And maybe I'd do another special again, but I just want one, honestly.
Yeah,
Well,
just as a foray into commentating for NASCAR.
Yeah, that's my end goal. Like at the end of the day, it feels like it should be reversed. You get into NASCAR and then transition to comedy, but like NASCAR is my everything. Like I don't that's what I know the most about. So if I could like I feel like I want to do what Joe Rogan did for the UFC but for NASCAR, and I could just do a NASCAR podcast and just coast for the rest of my life.
oh yeah.
But
Well,
but yeah, that's
Trey,
my end goal.
Trey, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, man, and good luck with everything. And definitely let us know when you're heading through this way. We'll hang out.
For sure. Yeah, that'd be great. I've really enjoyed talking to you guys about injury lawyers and defecating yourself. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope everything's going well and that this comedy is doing good over there.
It's getting there. It's on a slow rise, but it's been slowly rising for a few years, but it'll get there.
The
Yeah,
South
yeah,
will
for sure.
rise again.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
The
Trey, tell.
South,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just playing off what y'all
Uh,
were saying, but what were you saying? I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna say, tell everybody where they can find you on the internet.
Well, my Instagram is juggalo underscore Trey 23. You can find me on Twitter at sportsrm749. I've kind of had a bad experience with Twitter or X. My podcast is called The Main Entree. You can find it on Spotify, Apple, the iHeart Radio app. I haven't really been recording it a lot lately because I've been moving, but I'm getting back to that soon. So but yeah, that's pretty much the I guess the base the what's the word? The basics of where you can find me. So
Yeah. Well, I'll put all the links in the show notes if anybody would like to follow your stuff. And Jacob, you got anything you want to throw out there before we leave tonight?
Just that we've got a very busy April, man. We've got one episode down, but we've got 4 more guests to record just this month. Because guess what? People are hitting you boys up. They say, hey, we
nice.
want to come on your podcast. I don't care if you want me to come on your podcast. I want to come on your podcast. And so we're having them on. A lot of fun guests this month that I refuse to announce because they will pull out the second I say their names. But if you want to know before everybody, go to our website. You can go to openmicers.com, or you can subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/OM podcast. And you can actually have a say in some of the going ons of our show because you can put in the group chat, hey, Jacob, you should try to book this comedian. And I'll try my best to get him on, and it might fucking happen. So go ahead and go get in there for as little as $1 a month.
Hell yeah. And that being said, if you want to email us at openmicerspodcast@gmail.com. And like Jacob said, go to openmicers.com or patreon.com/OM podcast if you want to be a patron of the show. Also, Linktree/OpenMicersPodcast takes you everywhere you need to go. Our socials, we got money things up there like Cash App and PayPal, and we'll take some money from you. And that being said, we love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Shit the butt.
Yeah. All right, thank you all for watching on YouTube. We'll see you all next week.